Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Toju and you are watching TM Creatives. So welcome back again guys. It's been quite a long time since my last video, but I've been working on my other channel as well, just to keep things balanced. And in this tutorial session, we're going to be doing something different. So right now in this tutorial session, we're going to be learning how to literally design a PS5 user interface. When I mean design, I'm talking about designing and implementation in terms of web development. So literally we are building like a web-based version of the PS5 user interface. So that's what we're going to be doing in today's class. And in this we're going to be using the same foundation we've always been using: HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and yeah, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and also we'll be making use of a CSS framework called Material Design Bootstrap. If you watch my last video, you see that I've introduced that part of the tutorial. I'm sure a lot of people really learned a lot from my last video on how to make a Family Guy web page, right? So this one we're going to be doing a PS5 user web page, user interface web page. So basically just ensure that we somehow clone the kind of user interface a PS5 has and put it into a web version. That's what we're going to be doing, and it's going to be divided into maybe two sections. So stick with me guys as we learn this, and join me as we go on this journey into figuring out how to actually implement this. So yeah, so let's move on guys. Thank you. So welcome back guys, and like I said, today we are going to be looking at designing the PS5 UI, the PS5 user interface, basically making a web version of the PS5 user interface for those who are familiar with the PlayStation 5. And I just decided that I'm a game person, and I wanted to just do something fun. I won't want my classes to be boring or anything, so I decided that I need to be doing tutorial videos on things I love, because I know there are other people that will also be interested in learning things like this. And so I'll be explaining everything step by step, so even if this is your first time watching this video, you'll be able to understand. And by the end of this video, you have a cool UI with a dark background, a scrolling menu, and over effect just like the PS5, the PS5 user interface. So the very first thing you have to do, ensure, if you have not watched my previous video, please try to watch that. But one thing you need to know is you need to have your Visual Studio Code opened up. So I'm going to be showing you what we're going to be achieving by the end of this class. So this is a sample of what we're going to be achieving in this first round of the class. So we're going to be doing something like this. This is the sample of the PS5 user interface I'm talking about. So as you can see, it's giving that effect. So this is the over effects. We know over effect is when you hover your mouse on something and it pops up like this. It's indicating that yes, you are currently on this particular section of the website. So this is it. Then we're having like an awesome scroll bar. So the scroll bar is not visible like this because we've not added too many contents. So it's meant to be scrolling left and right. So I'm going to show you that in a minute if we add some other things. But yeah, there we also have where you have my profile settings. I'm just trying to give you that PS5 clone look. So if we do like this, you can see now the scroll bar it has appeared. So you see you can go in and out depending on your screen size. So this is a very responsive website. So you see something like this. So I try to emulate the PS5 a bit, although this is still unfinished. We're still going to do the rest in our next class. So the very first thing we have to do is come to our Visual Studio Code. Ensure you create a folder. So create a folder, name the folder what you want to name it as, open your Visual Studio Code, then come to open folder, then look for the folder in your directory and select it. You can see that's mine. Select it and it will open up. So the first thing you want to do is of course press Ctrl N, save a file, right? So let's do that again. So this is the code for this. So Ctrl N, save a file. We'll call this tutorial. We already have it there, tutorial PS5. So I just don't want to repeat it too much. So tutorial PS5. So the next thing we're going to do, just to make things fast, there's a shortcut for this. You just press Alt Shift and press exclamation mark. So if you do this, this just gives us like the basic thing that we need to use to build our website. So we have our title, our body tag. So everything we're going to be doing is going to be falling inside this body tag. And because this is just this is just a class, this is just one of the introductory class to web design. We're going to be doing inline not inline, so we're going to be doing internal, I call it internal CSS. So internal CSS is when your CSS file is still in the same folder, is still in the same file as your HTML file, which is what we are doing here. And there's what they call inline CSS, which is you are styling inside your tag. So for example, inline CSS can be something like this. I can come to the body tag and say body style, so we are specifically styling a tag in the same line. But internal is more like you are doing it in a specific inside the header tag, because that's the only way this can work. Inside the header tag, putting everything inside there rather than creating an external file and doing all of that, which is not a bad idea. That is a good practice actually, but just for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just doing it this way. So what we're going to do next is we can name our file. Just call it PS5 tutorial, right? So the next thing we're going to do, close this. So the next thing we're going to do is to establish all our links, all the links that we want to use. So like I said, we're going to be using a CSS framework called Material Design Bootstrap. So in order to do that, so let me just name this into PS5 user interface. So the next thing we're going to do here is put all our links. So I'm going to be leaving that in the description below, and I'm going to be explaining each of these links, by the way. So the very first link is the fonts. So not our fonts, our icons. So I'm just still going to use, because I've already done this already, but for the sake of this class I'll be breaking it down. So we're going to be taking this. So for this part, Font Awesome is like we're using the library of an existing font library, like basically an icon library, where we can get all our cool icons. So all the icons you are seeing here, these are from the same library. So I'm going to be taking that, right? It's going to be part of the description below, and always put those links inside your header tag. If you put them outside your header tag, the system will not recognize it. So the next one we're going to be doing is inputting our font. So we're using a particular font called Roboto font. This is also a library. Basically one of the secrets about web development is that all these things are actually made with libraries. You just look for the CDN or the link and you put them in the right places. So that's for our font. So the next one we're going to be doing is taking the so this is our CSS framework library, which is called Material Design. So this is going to be giving our websites the beautiful it has a lot of beautiful libraries that we need to use. So basically CSS frameworks are like you are making use of existing CSS files which exists in a library and can come in as a file, or you can come in as a folder, or you can come in as a URL, which we call CDN, right? So that is what we're using here. So we've imported the library, our CSS framework. This is very important here, right? This is very important here, guys. So ensure you do that. As you can see, it carries the CSS styling sheet, right? And that's for everything, because all of these are still under these are CSS properties, these are CSS things, but this is a CSS framework library link that we're taking. So next one we're going to do is also take all of this. So this particular line is going to be our web icon. So if you notice, when you come to this web page, you can see this icon over here. You can see this PlayStation logo over here. So that is where this is coming. That is what this is doing. So it's like we call it I call it a web icon, by the way, you know, because it somehow tallies with the title. So the image is here. So if I click on this link, it takes me to where the image is, you see. So that's it. So that's what we're using. The next one, these are those extra font libraries I'm using, so I put them in. So this works as an animation, you know, just to like give it like this an animation feel. So I'm going to be explaining that later on. And this is also being specific to the kind of font we want to use. I know so in this particular file we have two fonts that we're using, but I think I'm just going to stick with what we have here. So let's continue. So now, after that, what we're going to do next is now come to our body tag. Right, so in our body tag we are looking into setting it straight. So now if you look at this web page, the first thing you're going to notice that this is a navbar. You know, always understand the section of your website. So this is your navbar. Then after your navbar, we have your background image. So this particular image that you're seeing all around this is the body tag working here. I kept all of the properties I needed inside the body tag, because the way the PS5 UI is related, there's this overlay, which is why our background image is a bit dark. Then, you know, so that the main things could showcase in front of the user. That's why we have all of this. So the overlay is what you are seeing that is doing this a bit. Then the background image is also there. You know, you see the robot holding the pad. That's the body tag. That is everything inside the body tag. This is your navbar, a bit different. So we're going to be looking at setting that up. So the very first thing we have to do is, you could always visit these sites in order to get what you need to get the components and everything you need, right? So this remember that we're using a CSS framework, which is they have their website and their documentation. So we go to the navbar, and before I continue, there's also something we've not established the JavaScript URL here, which is very important. So let's go down here. I'm not going to scroll down here. So we're going to take this. All of these are just this JavaScript framework. The JavaScript for this CSS framework, for it to really, you know, make sense. So I'm going to be explaining each of this. So this is just normal. It's part of what you need to import, right? This is to work as this is actually to work as a scroll to the top function, right, which is good. Then this also represents the JS CDN of our material design bootstrap CSS framework, because we want to make sure that, okay, whenever we are on smaller screens, you know, it doesn't scatter, or it does not ruin the flow of what we have here. So you can see this is a JavaScript working here. If I remove this line, if I take out this line, this mdb.js line, and I save this, and I come here and I refresh, so see that didn't work. So, oh, sorry, mistake. I didn't open the file. Sorry, I've not opened the file from this folder. Sorry. So you see, it's not just showing anything. So why is it that? So something is wrong. Apologies. So I need to know where this is opening from. Okay. Okay, we've not set anything yet. That's why. Sorry, I was looking at something else. So yeah, let's open. I was just trying to show you how it looks. So you see now, remember we took out that code. So now if we come here, mistake, that was the wrong file. So like I said, if I take out this mdb file, this mdb line, right, and I save this, now you see that this is the JavaScript here working, right? This is JavaScript. Now if I've taken that away and if I refresh, I can't, no matter how many times I click, nothing is coming out. We are not seeing the content. Only when we have it on a larger screen space that we see it. So that's why that part is essential, So let's come back to our code here. So as I was saying, the very first thing we have to do is we've established our JavaScript code, which is fine. So remember, focus on the body tag. This part is it's part of the body, right? It has to be part of the body. So let's focus here. So the next thing we do now is to like I said, we're coming here to copy something. So we can copy this. I'm just trying to make a point here. We copy this, we put it here. So so this is the navbar tag. Now remember I told you that CSS frameworks, these are already existing libraries that people have come together to create, and just us making use of their components and editing it. You don't need to be a CSS expert, but I mean, it's always be good to have a knowledge of CSS if you want to. Like me, I had to. I mean, before Bootstrap came into play, I've been styling my thing myself, But when Material Design Bootstrap got introduced into the world, it was a major game changer for everyone. So I believe majority of developers do this as well. So we've saved this, so let's check what it looks like now. So you can see, so you see now we have it here, right? And I'm pretty sure when you go to inspect, so it's not coming up. So that's because that might have been the wrong one that we used. But please just follow the codes that you see on my screen. So now we copy all of this navbar. Right, I'm going to explain this in a second. So we copy this. I'm copying, but you can just. I'll be leaving the files below in my description, so you can always refer to that. So now we've kept everything here. Now is the navbar. Now the navbar already has classes, like I told you. These are the classes. So we are So the only thing here is that we are going to edit this in a bit, so you can see it's not really giving it what we want yet, right? That's because we need to style this, because like I said, CSS frameworks these are just predefined libraries, predefined CSS libraries created already. So we can also override it and add, edit it to what we want. So now when we come here, right, notice that the so you can see everything here. So I'm not going to work on the body yet, so let's go to the navbar. I'll copy all of this and I'm going to explain it in a short while. Right, so what this one does is that, so we have this. I just want to make sure that you are not confused. So what this one does is that it takes away the shadow. So the shadow is this you are seeing. If I refresh this page, if I save this work and I refresh it, you see that all of this will change. So it has taken away the shadow here. It has given it a padding. So that padding is more like giving it the gap here, so that it does not look like it's too much inside or something like that, right? Then we have brand, the image. So that's the brand will come here, like the logo of what we have is here, So then we have box shadow. Yes, we've taken that away, and this is just overriding it, just to make sure that it has been replaced. And our code is somehow replacing those areas, because we cannot really have access to the CSS codes from this CDN. We can have access to it, but we can't really make changes from the link. So we have to make the changes inside our file, right? So if we refresh this now, you can see now that has taken away the shadows and everything. You see, it's making sense. But this is why we're not seeing things, because we need to make this background black. So now the next thing we're going to do, then also now this particular place, what it does is it spaces out what we need, right? So you can see it's giving that space. See this space, this is 8px 8px. It's giving that space between them so they are not looking all glued together. So next thing we're going to do is so we're going to work on the body, and I'm going to explain each of these properties on the body. So this is the body tag, right? That is how you style. You create a body tag. So body tag, open curly braces and close curly braces. Always, the first thing is we give it a color, right? Black. Then we make sure that, okay, since it's going to be a black background, let's make sure that the text is white so that users can see it. Then after then we have a background image. We added the background image. Now what I love about web development is that you can either add a background image as a URL, you should just go and look for it, so far it exists on the internet, or you create a folder and name it what you want and just link them together. So you have this sort of like img slash logo.png, something like that, Then we have background size cover. So that means that we want the image to cover the entire web page. Now we have background position, which is going to centralize everything. Then we have position relative. That is just to make sure that whatever it is that comes in after this body tag, they are able to somehow blend with it. Basically that's it. Margin 0. So that is like we don't want any form of overlay in our, so not overlay, but we don't have any like overstep in our web page. So that's just giving it margin 0. Is locking in the entire web page so that it can fit what we want. Then we have height 100 VH. So height can either be in percentage or this, but VH just simply means that, okay, this is it's a different measurement than when you say percentage or anything like that, right? But it does make sure that it covers the entire web page. Then we have what they call overflow hidden. So that is when we don't want some nasty scroll bars to be shown on our web page. Like we don't want to see those scroll bars showing, So that's it. Then body after is just trying to maintain the content. Position is absolute. This is just work hand in hand with the content. Top. So this particular line is what you are still trying to lock the body so that it does not overflow. Because it overflow, it does not overflow to the next, to any page or anything, right? Then we kept like an overlay. Like I said, you see that black, you see this black sorry, what is it? So you see this sudden black thing that is covering the background image. That is an overlay, and that is what we have here, right? So now I've not refreshed our page. This is our main page here. When I refresh this, you can see this. So because we've already set the background, the color to white, that's why we are seeing that the text, they are white, right? Then the background image, which is this. So you can change the background image to anything. So for example, let me just do an example here. So for example, let's say I go to, so I just want to give an example. So let's say I go to wallpaper. I'm just going to pick any picture online so that you see how fast it blends. So let's use this. So let's copy image address. The copy image address, just bring it over here. Right, save it. When you now come to the original web page, you see that this background image will change. Oh, sorry, that's not it. You can see that's it. So whatever it is you want to give it, that's your choice, So like I said, it spread everything out here. This is still the navbar. This is still the navbar. So after that, we then have what's next? So this, everything here is the navbar. So we've covered the navbar tag. So everything inside here is still under the navbar. I hope you understand what I tried to say. So another thing you can do is you can close this up a bit so that we manage space. You can see, just click, there's an arrow here, you can open and close. That's how I'm telling you that this navbar tag is on its own. Everything is like section by section. So the next thing we're going to do is give this some space because we don't want them to clash. So in order to do that, we come to, where is it, margin bottom. So I'm going to explain this a bit. So what this does is that we're giving it space, so it's saying okay, margin bottom, meaning that you want a space between the first section and whatever section that comes next. So this is, think of this as a divider. You know, if we increase the number, it will keep on giving it the gap that it needs to give. So after then we then have container tag. So I'll explain what this container tag is. Now this container tag is mainly managing the where you want your contents to be, whether you want it to be like this. So for example, now this is a container. This is a container like this. The container tags or container classes don't really go beyond this, but container fluid can take the entire web space. Let me show you what I mean. So let's say I come here, I copy this, right? So let's say I copy this and I paste this here, right? So from here, next thing we're going to do, sorry, give me a few minutes, let me drink some water. Sorry about that. So as I was saying, so if I put in something here, let me say I put in something like this. This is inside the container tag, and always make sure that every tag has open and close. Closing it is we put slash in the front. Opening it is just, you know, you just put the put it inside the arrows, right? So now we'll type this in and we'll come here. I need to be using the actual one, yeah, like this. So you see, this is a container. Container is just putting, like, everything here is like a container, right? But now if you put container fluid, now watch this. Put container fluid here. I'll come here. You can see where it went to. You can see where it is now. Now it's saying that container fluid takes the entire space of the screen. It does not put margins or paddings in the left or right side, up and down. It doesn't do that. So but now I like to put container there so that you know users can see everything immediately. So now the next thing we do is we have to work on this container. Now remember from the initial design that we have here, or from the one I did before, these are boxes with icons inside them, right? So but also know that this is a scroll bar, right? So there's something called item. Item is going to house everything the scroll bar needs to do. Then options is that's what I call it, options. So these are for each of these. So I'm going to show you that in a bit in the code. So we can just copy and paste that, and I'm going to explain it with the CSS file as well. So everything ended. Wow, that's long. Yeah, so we just copy all of this. You can type it. I mean, once you can type it, then you can just duplicate, and that's it. So we do this, copy this, paste it here. Now I'm going to explain what this does now, right? So like I said, we have item class and we have options class. So item class is housing all of this. For example, if I do like this, inspect, and I point, I want this to reveal to me what is going on here. So you see, this is a container here, and this is the items, right? And options, these are options. Items is housing all of this. You can see they highlighted, and the other ones are just like inside options tag. So just type div class, exactly what you have here, div class items, right? So if I located it a name, right, then this is just, you don't have to put this, but you don't have to put this if you don't want to. So you close it. Then we'll come to options. Now we'll come to the styling of this, right? So we'll come to the styling. So the styling is display is flex. Don't worry, it's just a special class we use whenever we're trying to put things in the same row as the others. Then we have overflow X. So that's saying, okay, this thing we're doing, right, it's going to overflow. We want to do in the way that, okay, the rest will be hidden, right? So when the user is just scrolling left and right, you'll be seeing it. So see, like this. So if I scroll left and right, we're seeing them, right? we're seeing them. But if that options, or that if this display flex and overflow x is not there, this overflow x, if it's not there, right, that means we're going to be seeing a scroll bar here, which is very annoying. You're just going to be seeing a scroll bar, and it's going to make your website look less professional. So then we come to, so now I've explained that, right? So padding is, yeah, we're giving padding between each of the you're giving space for each of the things in options, right? You can see the space here, no one is there apart from me, you know, like you just have to make sure that the spaces are equally given. So that's why we have everything here, right? So this is the padding we have given it. So the next one I'm going to do is items. Then we kept WebKit scroll bar. So what this does is that it's hiding the scroll bar from this, right? Because really you don't want to see any scroll bar here. It's just going to make it look very, very ridiculous, right? So we have hidden, we have to hide the scroll bar, you know, but we can still go left and right. So if I go do like this, we can still go left and right, you see. Let me try and expand this a bit so you see it a bit. So you can still go left and right. Just hold shift and move your mouse left and right, or you can do left and right with your keyboard, I think. Sorry. Yeah, so you can do that. So the next thing we have, so the next thing we have here is items options. So this is like you are targeting, because if you notice they are all in the same place, right? So items and options, right? So you see them, items, options, they are all in the same place. So we have to ensure that when we're starting them, it's there as well. So we'll copy all of this, you know, just not to waste so much time. We'll copy all of this. So we've done for the navbar, so it's just from items and options. So when we do that, and we come down, scroll down, so can't put it here. Let's just close this. Okay, so we have all of that already, so we'll just come here and put it in. So I think I've explained what these CSS properties do. So we'll refresh now. You see, now we have everything, right? The over code, right? This is it here. This is the over code. You just set the scale and everything. Trust me, like if you do this, if you just try starting your own website and your own website project and start putting all of this and putting in place, I've kept in place for you, you'll see that in the next couple of weeks you're already good. You're already good to some extent, right? So there you have it, guys. This is how it's supposed to be, right? So I hope we're able to learn a thing or two from this class, and please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And you know, if you are new here, please support my movement, and you know, me bringing joy to everyone's faces on cooking and all. So please, encoding this thing and all, you know. So sorry about that, encoding this. So please don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and hope we're able to learn something from this today. Thank you. So after this, you can save your work and, you know, showcase it. And there you have it, guys. Hope we're able to learn a thing or two from today's class. And you know, so I'm just going to do a brief review of what we were able to achieve today. So like I said, the goal was to make a simple web PS5 user interface, and one of the things that we had to do is understand the structure of what we are making. So remember, we had to add like a background image. Then we worked on the navbar. Then we also worked on understanding the libraries to import into our file. Then we're also able to understand the scroll bar effects, the over effects, you know, and also being able to, you know, link images. So this is literally like the basics of, you know, website building. And because of time, I could not manually type. That's why I like to do my work or whatever it is I need to teach. I always make sure that I've done the final copy, right? So that when I'm explaining or teaching, I'm just able to just, you know, explain exactly what I've done. And I always make my file very accessible, so you can always check out the links in the description below to have access to the actual code itself, so that you can go through and you can watch the video as well to make sure that you're on the right path. So please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I really appreciate those who have been keeping up. And please feel free to share me your your practice. Please make sure that you practice, not just by watching the videos and all. Practice, please. Practice makes perfect. And you know, I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys have been able to come up with your own knowledge about web design, you know, or designing a PS5 user interface. I'm sure you'll be very proud of yourselves by now. So yes, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget, please continue to support me and continue to share this with loved ones and families who you feel need this tutorial. So take care, guys, and see you in the next one.